time now for Coming In Hot with Brent Wallace and former Ottawa Senator Jason York.
Happy Monday, everybody. Brent Wallace alongside Jason York and Graeme Nichols. Welcome to the talk show Coming In Hot, proudly presented to you by Bet365. Gentlemen, nice to see you. Yorkie, I know you wanted a snow day despite being in Florida, and Graeme tried to drive on the Queensway today, and everybody thought it was the first day of winter. Does that about sum it up?
Yeah. Is it like, I thought, isn't there like a Snowmageddon coming again, or is this an overreaction? What's going on there?
I don't know. It was a zoo trying to go eastbound close to like Terry Fox Drive, take my son to daycare, but it was a multi-vehicle accident, and then that delayed my morning by about half an hour. And then, literally just showed up to the show.
Ever
back in time. I thought I was making wicked time.
When do you take your snow tires off? See, probably a lot of people took their snows off. They got a little bit anxious. You got to wait till at least mid-April to take the snows off.
Yes. So
right?
My neighbor the other day was he took his snow tires off, and I'm like, what are you doing? It snows in April.
Yeah, always. We always get that last dump to trick us. We all think, summer's here, we're going to be golfing.
Snow shovels are away. Nope.
Yeah.
Anyway.
Oh, yeah. No. We'll get one more, too. There's one more coming. Don't worry. Count on it. Book it. One more good one.
I'm driving to Buffalo this afternoon, so it should be fun.
Oh, you're doing the trip.
I'm going to Buffalo.
Well,
I'll be fun.
You going to see Josh Norris play?
So I texted Buffalo PR before I left, before deciding to go down. I'm like, hey, if I do come down, would Josh Norris be available? And then I got an email last night saying, even if he doesn't skate, he will be available to talk on Tuesday.
Yeah.
So he should be available to talk to us. So yeah.
Wally's got like a little care package, a little gift bag to give down. You think you can
send a video message?
Can you fit that? Can you
just a frame?
That?
Yeah, I can. For sure.
Little frame picture with a little heart in there.
Yeah.
I miss you, Josh.
If he could give me like a shirt or a blanket or something, I could hold.
Sure.
I miss.
I can swing by Stützle on the way.
Josh, I miss your scent. I miss your musk.
Come back.
Come back, John. That's a little line from your Anchorman movie, Wally. Come on.
I know. Ron, I miss your. Okay, can we move on? In the middle of a playoff race, for the love of God.
Okay.
Are you scheduled, by the way, to play golf today?
No. I'm not a big golfer in the off season. I'll pull the twigs out probably another couple of weeks from now. Probably end of April.
So it's just a Speedo day?
Just a Speedo and sunscreen day. Yes.
Yeah. If you happen to have a dead woman next to you, make sure you take a picture that's in the lounger.
Oh God!
If that doesn't sound right, there's a few episodes before where that happened. Okay, this show proudly brought to you by Charm Diamond Centers, more than 85 locations across the country through Charm and their sister brands, proudly Canadian owned and operated since 1972. Get custom ring building delivered in less than 4 weeks with the Charm Masterpiece Program and unbeatable pricing policy. Check out a large selection of Canadian lab-grown diamonds, mined diamonds. Don't pay until 2026. And don't forget to apply for the Charm Diamond Flexity card today to get approved for no interest financing on your purchase in minutes. For more information, go to charmdiamondcenters.com. Chosen forever, Charm Diamond Centers. Also by Gabriel Pizza, the official pizza of the National Hockey League's Ottawa Senators. And of course, Coming In Hot. Download the Gabriel Pizza app today. Earn points with every purchase on the app. Get exclusive deals on the apps with Gabriel Pizza perks. Order on the app or online, GabrielPizza.com. And don't forget, the Sens score 4 like they will tomorrow, hopefully, against the Buffalo Sabres. You get 40% off any 9-inch pizza the next day after the Sens score 4. Just use the Gabriel Pizza app to order. All right, gentlemen, let's get into it. Sens, which I thought was a comfortable game for the most part. They scored 3 in the second period. Allowed it to be a little more entertaining in New Jersey. However, they are back in the win column. We'll get to Brady Tkachuk in a sec. Just your thoughts on snapping that streak and getting a victory. Yorkie, I'll start with you.
Yeah, the end of the game was a little bit hairy. Thank God the old Zubmeister was there fending off. I tweeted out, I can't believe he kept that puck out of the net. Like, he was surrounded by 3 Devils at the end. But, I look at a couple things in that game. Obviously, now we can all agree Brady is not 100%. I think he played roughly 13 minutes and change in that game. So he's hurt. You needed a win. I like the start. I like the first period. And people will say, well, they kind of caved in at the end. I give the Devils some credit, though, because don't forget they were coming off a couple losses. They're kind of sliding in the standings, too. I know Jack Hughes was out and they missing a few guys, but they
Dougie
gave
Hamilton or
Doogie. Old Doogie.
They're
Yeah.
missing somebody else, too.
But
anyway.
They're still a good team. Like, they still got some good players. So people forget, like, there's another team playing, and they gave a really good push in the third period. I thought Ottawa sat back a little too much, actually more than a little too much.
Yeah.
They play best when they get when they get after you, when you just keep press them. So it's human nature. That happened in the third period. It was a little too close for comfort, but I liked the game. I thought Ottawa, they had a good start. They did some good things, special teams, but I'll say this, there's a caveat on that. I can't stand their PK right now. It is scary. I don't know what's going on with that penalty kill, but it is so passive. And it's my God, every time Jersey gets a power play, I'm like, I don't think people understand how good you have to be down low to stop those cross crease passes that they're allowing. Like, you have to have an unbelievably good stick, because think about this: when you give all that time and space, they're getting the puck down low. The guy's able to turn, look at the guy, and all you have is your stick to block that pass. I don't like it. Like, if you look, I think they got to do some changes, but they won the game. The power play was great, but I'm still, Graeme, I don't know, that penalty kill scares me. Like, it's way too passive.
It is. I like when they're clicking well, it's more aggressive, where everything's kind of moving like pistons, right? It's so like one guy moves and then another guy's moving to cover. But like, I just find when it gets too passive, like I think there was a sequence with Shabbat where he just got like caught too high, and they work it down low, and the guy has like, it looks like he's got like 8 feet of room just to come out from like the side of the net and do whatever he wants, whether he makes a pass or just shoot it. And it happens a lot. It's just the defenseman. I think it puts a lot, like you played the right side, like it puts a lot of pressure on you as a defenseman to make a split-second judgment decision where do you come and take the shooter too high and or do you collapse down low and take away the down low play? And it's just to make those to make that many split-second decisions like consistently well. I just think it puts way too much pressure on the defenseman to make those reads.
It's really tough, and because that guy, what's happening is that guy, let's say Jersey's player, is getting the puck down near the goal line, and you're backed off that guy a good 5 feet. Like, I'll just give you an example. If you give Kucherov that time and space, they're scoring. Like, it's just, and they had a couple great looks on those power plays, the Devils, because there's just so much time and space to make plays. In retrospect, if you watched how Jersey was killing last game, Ottawa didn't get a lot of good looks early because they're so aggressive and they're on you. And Ottawa got the one goal with Giroux just putting it in the net, and it was a fortunate bounce. That happens. But yeah, I'm bewildered of what's going on, of why it's so passive. And it'd be my only thing that I'm watching this team play right now. It's like, man, I just wish they would tweak that and get a little more aggressive.
Would you like them to change the structure? Like, would you prefer like a wedge or like a box or like what?
We're 69 games into the season. Why are we still like, if they're strong, why hasn't this been changed?
I don't know. It's just, listen, I'll say this. The coaches they pour over video. They're doing what they think is right to help them win. And there's obviously a reason why they're doing it. I can just tell you if I have the puck on the point and I'm getting all that time and space, it's far easier to make plays. And I'm a proponent of, if you give good players time and space, they're going to make good plays. It's eventually they're going to make a play and they're going to beat you. I would rather get beat by being aggressive and forcing the other team to make an outstanding play to beat me, instead of giving them all kinds of looks and letting them control the puck like they do. So I don't know the answer to your question, Wally. All I can tell you is they're doing what they think is best. End of the day, hey, they won the game. I will say this, though. They do get a lot of opportunities shorthanded. Like Pinto and Greg, they're doing a tremendous job of forcing in the neutral zone, forcing when there are bobbles. So they are a threat shorthanded, which is great, which is this team in years past didn't have. So that's a positive, but it's just the passiveness. I just like them to be a little more aggressive, actually a lot more aggressive when the time calls for it.
I just don't understand. Quickly before I forget, we are giving away a Tim Stützle jersey on Thursday. And so clue number 3 will be in the show today at some point. Just make sure you listen. I get people emailing me going, I didn't hear it. It is in every show. So we're 2 clues in. Will be a third one will be at some point during the show. All right, back to this game, back to Brady, because Brady seems to be drawing a lot of attention.
Yeah.
His last, let's not forget, out of the last 11 games, he's got points in 9 of those games. However, the last 5 games since that Boston game, which I think it was the injury, he's got 1 goal, 3 points. His ice time is down nearly 3.5 minutes on average. He still has 14 shots. He did score the big goal in New Jersey. Do you sit him? So this team is perilously trying to make a playoff spot here. Do you sit him, or as long as he feels like he can play, he plays? Graeme?
I think you treat it like Nick Jensen, right? Like as the situation calls for it. Like I think they built up enough of a cushion. Like you could play him, you could dress him, put him in like a 4th line. Like you could give him 4th line minutes and give him the old spot start if you needed to, or just don't dress him at all. But he needs to be healthy and at his best. And I think you're coming up on a month since the Four Nations tournament where he's been kind of dealing with this nagging injury. Afford him as much time as he needs, but if he wants to play, he's an adult and he works in concert with the staff there. So I think if he plays, he's making the best decision for himself. But I think this team's pretty much almost sewn up a playoff spot. I think they're at 93% chance, and they've got a bunch of winnable games coming down the stretch. It's going to be very hard for teams below them to pass them based off the points cushion. So again, I think it's just load management, get these guys healthy or as close to 100% as they can at this time of year. That's the big thing. I'm ready for the first round.
Yeah, I'm still a little nervous with the schedule. Like those games with Columbus, man, those are massive games. I'll say this, if he's not dressed against Jersey, they lose that game. Lose that game. So if he's going to play and if you're going to dress, you're more apt to get hurt if you play less minutes. And people might think that's crazy, but it's the truth, because if your body's used to playing 18 minutes and you're sitting, because when you sit on the bench for long periods of time, what happens is you tighten up. So if you've got whatever Brady's dealing, let's say it's a hip or some kind of hip flexor issue, people don't understand. You watch Brady, he's standing up a lot and he's moving along the bench. He's opening the door. It's a good thing, because once you sit on the bench, and let's say it's for an extended amount of period, like 5 minutes, your body tightens up. And it's actually worse to play less minutes, because your head's not into it, your body's not into it. So if you're going to do that, you're better just not to play. Because it increases the chance of re-injury or reneging. But obviously the staff is something he can't hurt anymore. Otherwise he wouldn't be playing. But I think he's got play. I don't think they're in the clear enough yet. I really don't. I think you win a couple more games, and I think maybe you have that conversation then. It's just
Saturday night's win was just huge though. You can't go into Buffalo losing 3 in a row, playing a Sabres team that you haven't beat all year, even though
imagine that
particularly strong. There'd be so much pressure on this team to win on Tuesday, but I'm thinking you can understate the importance of Saturday night's win.
It was huge, eh? Well, it just felt like an exhale.
Yeah,
but if you let's just say you lose this Buffalo game, everybody else behind you. Well, what's happening now is some teams are playing each other that are chasing you, and that's what's going to happen. They're going to cross each other out, and you hope it's just not a 3-point game. But if we look at it, guys, who can realistically catch this team right now? If you look at the teams chasing them,
Montreal.
Who? Yeah, so much.
Rangers and Islanders aren't that far.
It's
5 points. Yeah, we're 5 points and 2 games in hand though against the Rangers, but.
Right. I kind of write the Rangers off a little here. I know Yorkie doesn't want to. I think it's still his team. But the Islanders are the only team left. Columbus, if Columbus were to win the 3 against Ottawa, then maybe we're having a different conversation, but I don't think so.
Yeah.
Well, Vancouver scored on Saturday.
I think Ottawa's in a playoff spot as this season goes. I think it's all but assured for Ottawa to be in a playoff spot at this point.
let's just say the Islanders win their next game. They go to 75. Ottawa loses, so then that becomes a 4-point difference. Ottawa loses another game. The Islanders win, but then again, then obviously the Montreal. It's. I just think it's. There's a few more games that you need a little more distance before you can start sitting guys, in my opinion. It's
So
been,
you
it's
played
been,
injured, and I think you've played with a hip. Is it the way he plays the game, though? Is it going to be too taxing on him?
Well, you just have to answer. Listen, Ottawa's got a great training staff. You're not going to play somebody and put them in a position where they're going to injure yourself more and make it really bad. Like he's playing hurt right now. There's a difference between playing hurt and playing injured. If you're playing injured, you can't play. If you're playing hurt, you can do it as long as there's not a chance of, hey, you could miss the rest of the season. So for sure, like they got great guys that are making these decisions. So yeah, you can play hurt. It's just you're not going to be the same. And obviously Brady's not right now, but hey, he made a difference in last game. Like that tip in front of the net. He's got a skill set that that nobody on the team has. And when he's dressed, when you have your best player, your captain dressed, it makes everybody walk a little taller. Just look at those games he missed when they came back from the break. When he's out of the lineup, this team is a different team. They really are. And they know that. So I'd just like to see them get a little more breathing room before you go down that path.
Fair enough. Which leads me to sort of the new guy, Fabian Zetterlund, who played on that line with Stützle and Brady Tkachuk on Saturday. Elevated from the fourth line as they juggled some lines. Gentlemen, as he looks for his first point as an Ottawa Senator, what are your impressions of Fabian Zetterlund? Do we know, as Serge wrote into the show, we'll give credit to Serge for coming up with the question, do we know what he is yet? What is Fabian Zetterlund, and where should he be in the lineup? Yorkie?
It's a great question, Wally. That's just $1 million question right now. Where does Fabian Zetterlund fit in this lineup? Here's the thing. And when you brought him in, there was going to be a domino effect on how it affected certain guys. So the first domino, because people are wondering right now, well, why isn't Pinto producing as much? What's going on with him? To get him on the second power play, what's the domino that had to come out? Wally?
To get Fabian Zetterlund on it, it's Shane Pinto.
Right. So Pinto is a pretty good offensive player who you've invested money in. So he had to be taken off that second unit because you brought in a guy that he's good on the power play. So, and now he's come in and he's made some nice, I'll say this, he's made some nice things happen on the power play. Like he gets in there, he's aggressive. He's disrupted a few plays which he's maybe got a third assist, but didn't get the second assist on the play. So he's not appearing on the score sheet. I just think it's really tough to come into a team when it's really playing well and to find a spot to slide into. And that's what happened right away. Travis didn't really have a spot to put him on, but the fourth line. So then you get off to a slow start. I thought he was good last game. Graham, I thought he did some nice things with the puck.
He had a nice touch pass to Stützle to
through his legs there.
Yeah, he just kind of led him with like a little soft pass ahead of the defenseman.
Yeah,
Timmy chased it down and then created a scoring chance out of it. But like he's got the speed and a little bit of physicality. Like he's a very straight line player. Like he's not going to beat you with his hockey IQ or anything like that. But like he works hard, skates hard, and he's got some tools. I think like Claude Giroux. When I was writing an article on Zetterlund coming in the first line this past week, like. Claude Giroux, I think he's got like 2 5-on-5 goals in his last 36 games. So I love Claude Giroux as a player, but like I don't mind taking him off the top line to create some more offense from that group. And I think if you add a little bit of speed and a guy who's willing to go to the dirty areas and do some things, like why not Zetterlund? Especially if Timmy's gonna continue not to shoot the puck. Like I think that's one of my issues. I think with the first line right now is like Tim needs to play a little bit more selfishly.
The only thing I don't like is. I'm getting less Amadio now.
Yeah.
And if you Michael Amadio has been one of this club's best players throughout this nice little winning stretch. He's been really good. But look at the effect Amadio had on the fourth line. They all of a sudden started to get some chances, got some looks. Like he just makes so many smart plays. Like, so back to your question, Wally, where does Zetterlund fit? I don't really know yet. Like I don't know. It's tough because you're coming from a team in San Jose that just doesn't have the players that Ottawa has. And Ottawa plays faster than San Jose. They play with more structure than San Jose. Structurally, I think he's been fine. Like he's playing above the puck like Travis Green wants his forwards to play. He's not. There's the one play in particular, but that was a good play when he got caught wide by the defenseman. I forget what game that was. And that happens a lot to forwards, but I think defensively he's been fine. He provides a little jam up there. I think this question still will play itself out because I don't know for me exactly what line he fits with right now because I think Amadio's too important of a player to play 8 minutes a game. So that's the problem because you're not putting Claude Giroux on your fourth line. So it's just I hate to be the coach right now trying to figure this one out.
Okay,
but they do a really good job though of like circulating. Like Amadio did have some shifts with his regular third line last game. Like
he was great.
He finds ways. He just finds ways to get guys a little bit more ice time, and it's not just static. You're stuck to the fourth line. That's it. So,
but he only played 8 minutes last game. Like he only got 8. He got 8 minutes. Zetterlund got 14. I want Michael Amadio on the ice more than I want Fabian Zetterlund on the ice, and he's a better player.
So would you flip Michael Amadio and Fabian Zetterlund in the lineup?
No, because I love Amadio on the third line. The third line's arguably been Ottawa's best line since Amadio and that line took off. Like they're doing some great things out there. It's just you want to get I understand it. You want to get Zetterlund going. You're trying. This is a great opportunity. So now the ball's in his court. You're playing with two great players. Let's see what you can do. So for me, the question remains unanswered where he fits in this game. This is a golden opportunity for him. Playing Buffalo, he should get some looks and hopefully he produces some offense because he does have some tools. It's just he's going to get an opportunity now to see him, and I think this question remains to be unanswered.
Remains to be answered.
Sorry, I butchered the English language again.
Time for the ads, boys. I think you know hockey. Play Sobeys My NHL Picks weekly for the chance to win big prizes. A new slate of game opens every Thursday from now until the end of the regular season. So download the Sobeys app, pick the winners of 5 NHL games, and compete for your chance to win prizes such as Sobeys grocery offers, up to 150,000 Steam points, or the grand prize of a trip for 4 to this year's Stanley Cup Finals.
Oh no, that's you. Golf season's quickly approaching, so I was not paying attention. This show brought to you by Club EG. Club EG is your best bet for amazing golf in and around Ottawa this season. Member only prices when you sign up for Club EG and get access to 60 amazing courses at member only rates. Check out the courses online. Plenty of different packages to suit you. So go to clubeg.golf. Don't forget this week, coming up Thursday, we're giving away another foursome to a great course in the city, clubeg.golf. I don't like the way this team plays defense. Show's over. Of late, gentlemen.
Discuss. I don't like how this team plays. Discuss amongst yourselves. What are you talking about?
It's not buttoned up to me. It seems scrambly.
It's not buttoned up. Is that? What do you mean?
Hold on a second. I want to put this in perspective. One, they're in a playoff spot. Two, they've already tied their wins from last season. They're likely to have their first 40-win season in 8 years or whatever. So I'm not dumping on this team. I'm just saying defensively, I would like to see this team play better. Now, I also know Nick Jensen has missed games here, but are you guys at all concerned the way this team plays? And I know shots on goal aren't indicative always, but they are giving up a lot more shots than they used to be.
Yeah, I don't disagree with any of that. I think for me, it's more than it is like a negative. I'd say the encouraging part is this team's finding a way to get points, and they're not playing their best hockey.
Yes,
like I think like they're. Yeah. I don't think like we had this conversation last week. Like it's really hard to play a full 60 minutes of clean hockey. But I think with Ottawa in particular, I find there's lulls, like just mental mistakes, mental breakdowns, defensive miscues, and just I don't know how else to describe it. It's just like there's just mental lapses that cause significant chances against, and they often wind up in the back of the net. And I mean, like you said, Wally, like losing Nick Jensen is just I think he's a huge part of the puzzle. But I think like when you're as shorthanded defensively as they are, when he's not in the top four and you have guys playing out of a role that they're probably not well suited for, I think that compounds a lot of problems, especially with breakouts, especially with defensive coverage. And I think when this team's struggling to break the puck out efficiently, like we saw in the Colorado Avalanche game against good teams like this, they tend to not look good.
Yeah, they're not buttoned up. What does that mean? Like
it's new verbiage.
Buttoned to the top. Like
buttoned up is tight. They just don't play very tight in their own end. Like suddenly, we should probably give Nick Jensen the Norris the way we're describing his valuable play to this team, because they can't, like, as a group. You still have to play D. Like Nick Jensen's one guy. They still have to. They just have to be better defensively. I meant to look this morning. As of yesterday, Linus Ullmark has faced the most shots in the league since the beginning of March.
So I thought they were pretty.
Just getting ready for the postseason.
I thought they were pretty buttoned up against New Jersey until the third period, and then But it's, to me, this team plays better defense when they're more aggressive. When they sit back and allow teams to come at you, nobody's going to look good defensively. And it's you got to give credit sometimes to the other team. Like New Jersey had a nice push in that game. They did some things. I'll say this: Ottawa bent, but they didn't break, and they got fortunate with a couple nice bounces around the front of the net. I don't know how the puck didn't go in a few times, but if you compare this team, Wally, and I think we can all agree on this, to how unbuttoned they were the previous 7 years to how buttoned they are now, it's a much more buttoned up team. Like it's like we got to put things in perspective here of where this team used to be.
I just
the goals the goals they used to allow, the coverage lapses, guys used to stand in front of the net like totally uncontested. They're like, why is that guy so open? So I got to give some credit, like the way the forwards back check, the way they pressure. The defense moves the puck a hell of a lot better than the way they used to. Are there some lapses? Absolutely. But if you watch every single team in the league with a fine-tooth comb, there's going to be lapses. Hockey is a game of mistakes. There's going to be times when you fold. I'll say for the most part, I look at the goals against. Like what are they at right now? 200 goals against. Massive improvement to where this team used to be. They've got less goals against given than the Toronto Maple Leafs. And everyone's saying Toronto is playing far better defensively. So is it perfect? No, but it's a hell of a lot better than it used to be. Like I'm gonna say that this is a win for how they play this year. Like they've pretty well changed the entire way they go about defending and playing. And is it perfect? No, but it's like I said, it's a hell of a lot better than the way it used to be.
Yorkie, I believe you missed the first part of my statement when I said this team is likely in a playoff spot. They've already matched wins for last season. So I didn't dump on this. There's something about the way they're playing right now. I think they're giving up way too many scoring chances. And Graeme, I want you to help me.
I emailed you all those stats. Like you were asking for the stats the other day, and like since March, like they're, the shots against are like they're Corsi, and the shots on goal that they allow aren't great. Like they're sub 50, but like at the same time, the rate of chances that they're giving up, like obviously it's publicly available data, so it's not the tightest data, but like the scoring chances that they're allowing aren't huge. Like I still think they were faring quite well in those categories. It's just, I think like the reason for their success right now is that their shooting percentage is skyrocketed. It's like top 3 in the league in the last month, and then they're getting more saves. Like they're getting, I think it was like 913 or something at 5-on-5. So as long as they keep scoring goals and they're getting saves, like you got a chance to win. Doesn't matter how you're playing every night. But yeah, to your point, I think like this team definitely could tighten things up on the defensive side. But Yorkie, like how hard is it for like a team to bring in like 2 new forwards? One who's playing he played on the first line last game, and then you're bringing in a center who's got a lot of defensive responsibilities in Dylan Cousins. Like you're trying to integrate 2 new players in your top 6. Like that's probably a wrinkle that we haven't really discussed. And then you talked about the Nick Jensen thing, Brent. So
Jensen's huge.
I just think there's a lot of context. But again, for me personally, I find it's encouraging. Like this team's not playing its best hockey. They're still finding ways to win. and they're not peaking at the right, like too early.
Okay,
You know, like
so
if you
here's
can
the
tighten that
question.
up.
So there's two ways that people I'm noticing are looking at this. One, happy to get into a playoff spot, right? Happy to, if we make it into the playoffs, this is going to be awesome. Or two, they think this team should be first in the East by the way that they play. Like they should never have a bad game, never a night off. And so I'm more of we should all be pretty pumped that this team gets into a playoff spot, as opposed to, well, there's some holes with this team or issues, and they can't, if they keep playing this way, they're going to lose. If they were to make the playoffs and get swept
and look bad doing it, right?
No, not even like, I would still be okay with this season. 100%.
I think it would feel a little hollow though if they went out and got absolutely whacked in
Graham,
4 games.
If you were told at the beginning of the year the Ottawa Senators were going to be in the playoffs, would you not go, fucking right, we're in?
Oh, yeah. Wally, swear jar.
I would, yeah, like I would, but like I don't know. Like you also want to look competitive in the postseason when you're there. You don't want to just like, you don't want to one and done. Like you gotta if it's, you know, if they lose like 4 1-goal games, I'm like, yes, I'm 100% with you. But like if it's like 4 games like that Colorado Avalanche game, I'd be like, oh man, like still a long way. Like you want those encouraging signs. You want to be like, you know, the gap between being a playoff team to a contender, it still feels like the gap would be large if they got whacked in 4 games. Like I just want to see that, even if they lose 4 straight, I just want to see that gap be tightened, so you don't feel like you're embarrassed in a short series.
Let's just get in.
Yeah, I don't know. See, like I don't know.
So look, Sidney Crosby in his first year faced the Ottawa Senators and lost in 4 straight.
Yep.
They seem to have done okay over their career.
But he was like 20, right? Like he was just like, most of Ottawa's players are like 22, 23. Like this thing they should be competitive. Like they're further along.
I'm not saying they're not going to be. I'm just trying to get perspective here.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah. You're just I see where you're going with Lloyd. For me personally, I think if this team makes the playoffs, and they're obviously trending that way to make it, that was the goal this year. Get in the playoffs. If they get swept, it'd be disappointing, but it wouldn't wreck what you've accomplished by making the playoffs. You got to remember too, none of these players have played in the playoffs before. Like this is going to be a first for everybody. It's also a first.
People, hold on. People are going to go, well, David Perron and Michael Amadio.
I know. Let's like the core, like Brady
drafted
Tkachuk,
by Ottawa.
Drake Batherson, Thomas Chabot, Tim Stützle, like the guys I'm talking about that have been here. Yeah, for sure. So, and don't forget, like part of the reason to what we were talking about before, this is the first time a lot of these guys have been in a position where you're playing under real pressure. And now you're playing in games that actually matter. And now we're heading into April soon. So you're seeing, back to our point, why is this team a little more leaky lately? Well, because you naturally collapse. Like when you're in a position where there's pressure to win. And I'll say this, Graeme, with the shots they allow now, do you notice they do a much better job of stacking the house? So they stack like 4, sometimes 5 guys in the slot, and they make it really difficult to get grade A's. So they'll give the outside chances, they'll give looks, but it's usually a one and done. Yeah. Except for a couple times late in that game where they had to save a couple. But just back to that point we're talking. But no, for me, if they lose in the first round, I think it's a win. It's the goal for this group was to get in, play these types of games down the stretch, which they're doing, and then get in. So, and I don't think I have a hard time seeing this team get into the playoffs and get embarrassed. There's too many good pieces in this group that they've had. Like, look how good, like we've gone through 40 minutes. We haven't even talked about how well David Perron's playing right now. Like, how did that not get in the nerd report? Like this guy went in the nerd report.
It is in the nerd report.
This guy went from being a total non-factor early in the season because of family reasons, because of a bad back. The way this guy's playing right now, like, man, it's this guy's playing like he's 25 years old. Like he's a dog on a bone out there. So like I just think if they get in, guys like Perron, guys like Giroux, guys like Amadio, I have a hard time seeing them being an easy out in the first round.
I'm not, hold on for the record. I'm not saying they're going to be an easy out. I'm just asking the question.
You said, what if?
Exactly. Did I say, well, they're never going to win? I just wanted to see if people would just accept them being in the playoffs. And I'm in camp, just make the playoffs.
I think like Yorkie, you make a great point though, because like, let's say, I think once the Senators get in the postseason, I don't think there's any pressure on them at all.
There's none.
Right.
There's
They're going to be the dog. But I think like you made a good point about the pressure now. I think the games that the team is playing now to get in and keep winning and just
a lot of pressure.
like this losing streak that they recently just had, like the 2-game losing streak that they just had. Like this team has had a pattern throughout the course of the season where they would win 4, 5, 6 games in a row and then immediately drop 4 or 5 games. And, you know, like that opportunity presented itself now on Saturday against New Jersey, who's fighting for their lives a little bit too. Like they're losing games.
Yeah.
Like, that's not an easy game to win in Jersey. And they won 3-2. So that tells me something. And if you keep playing in these pressure games, like even against Columbus, like you mentioned the 3 Columbus games later on this season, those are going to be, it's just jam-packed with pressure. And I think if this team perseveres through that pressure and gets in the postseason, like those lessons are almost as valuable as just getting into the postseason or
for sure.
Just having a playoff game under the belt. Like I think the games that they're playing now to get in are almost as important.
It's great prep. Because a lot of teams that go into the playoffs with pressure, it doesn't change. So no, it'll be. You're right, Graeme. That game in New Jersey, there was a ton of pressure because if you lose that, it's now 3 in a row, and you're in a Canadian market, got to answer the questions. You come back, and then you've got a massive game against Buffalo, and it's just everyone's hair is on fire, and you're running around. So no, it's this pressure is going to prepare them well for the playoffs.
To quote Wally, though, I think most people will be fucking thrilled.
100%. Like, Wally just smiled. That's your first smile of the show.
There you go.
Look at this guy.
It was a nervous smile because now it's become a potty show. So now I'm nervous.
What's going on in the chat? Are the chat people all over you?
No. So I will say I can't remember where it was. Someone just said it's not easy for Wally to swear or something. I can't.
Yeah. What easy put, Graeme? What do we need? Is it $1?
The F-bombs don't come easy to Wally.
It's got to be more than $1 because nobody carries change anymore. It's got to be like bills.
You gotta stand in there. It's $5 for that friggin' F you, Wally.
Dumb.
And what's going on? Like, are you supposed to be growing the mustache in? Like, what's happening right now?
No, they're not in the playoffs.
Oh.
No.
Did you see the pic of? Did you see the pic of Wally with the stash? It's so good.
Fantastic.
Does Josh like the mustache on you?
This show's brought to you by BEI, our good friends at Bonisher Excavating Inc. Spring is just around the corner. That means time to start landscaping. Need some landscaping stone, aggregate, maybe thinking of redoing the driveway. Bonisher Excavating is here to help with competitive pricing on your landscape needs. Give them a call, 613-432-1120, or go to bonisherexcavating.com. BEI helping to shape the Ottawa Valley. Also, slow down in construction zones. Just slow down in general today in the Ottawa area. And if you're looking for employment, give them a shout. They are hiring right now. So bonisherexcavating.com. I think you can apply online. Also, our show brought to you by, as our proud presenting sponsor, Bet365. Breaking news coming in from Bet365. Wherever nail-biting overtime win is a barn burner. Every face-off, hat trick, power play, shot on goal, penalty shot, and every suspenseful minute in between, including the penalty kill. Whatever the moment is, it's never ordinary. Bet365, an official partner of the National Hockey League. Download the Bet365 app today and use code NATION, all in uppercase letters, NATION. Get in on the game. Must be 19 or older. Please play responsibly. Ontario only. Quick congratulations to our Ottawa GG's men's hockey team, who came in as the 8th seed and are now national champions, beating Concordia 3-2 yesterday. The shots on goal, 33-14 for Concordia. They had 19 shots alone in the third period, but couldn't complete the comeback.
Goalie.
I saw Concordia play this year. They're a hell of a team. I went up and saw Western play Concordia, but Patrick Grandmaitre, head coach of the Ottawa UGGs. What a job Patrick did with that group. Great coach. He runs a great program there. One of the few teams that practices in the morning, Wally. They do morning skates. So he asks a lot of his players, and players bought in. But that's rare.
He's turned that around. It's
rare you see two OUA teams in the final because it's usually always your home team. Wally, UNB is always there, usually Saskatchewan, but great to see a couple Ontario schools, but full marks for Ottawa U. That's a They didn't even make it to the. It was almost like when you go back to some of those junior teams that host the Memorial
Ottawa
Cup.
67s in 1999
Yeah.
hosted and then won the Mem Cup.
Yeah. So I heard the crowd. AJ Jackaback was at the game. He said the crowd was amazing. So
Yeah.
it's unfortunate that nobody broadcasts that anymore. Like I used
CBC
to.
Gem, it was online.
It was online, but like
Yeah.
when I used to work for Sportsnet, we used to broadcast it, and it was great. The players loved it, and I think we got to do a better job of promoting our university sports. We do a horrible job in Canada.
We
Horrible
don't do
job.
any.
Oh, they started to do a better job with the football, right? But yeah,
little bit, but there's
it's not at that level.
Then it was the same problem when I started, because I'm from the Maritimes, and so the Final Eight men's basketball was always there every year, and it was amazing, and everybody sold out at the Halifax Metro Center. But if you take it outside the market, if there's an NHL or anything else going on, it gets lost. And so I saw this year they did both men's and women's together for the first time, basketball.
Yeah.
That has legs, but it's just they do a terrible job of marketing. I couldn't find the game yesterday until I think it was 8:30 p.m. when I saw someone actually say where the game was.
The
hockey's great.
The schools are to blame too. They don't do a good enough job of marketing their athletes. The schools don't put enough money into it. It's there's a lot of fingers to be pointed. But I'll say this: the coaches, the people involved, the players. It's a great product. The hockey's really good. It's just it's a shame that there's not more resources put behind Canadian university hockey.
I agree,
and all Canadian university sports.
Also, congratulations to Rachel Holman and her rink as they are defending or back-to-back, I guess, world champions curling. Good for them. It was a big weekend. I know I'm way off topic here, but that's how Yorkie prefers the show. Clue number 3 for the Tim Stützle jersey. How many 4-point games does Tim Stützle have in his career? How many 4-point games does he have in his career?
That's a great question.
It was a lot more than I thought it was. Anyway, by the way, Sidney Crosby now has 16 seasons of 20 or more games a season with multi-point games.
Wow. And just picture, he's just wasting away these years in Pittsburgh right now. Like he is still playing at such a high level. He was so good. He was so good at the Four Nations, and like, wow.
So do you trade? I apologize. This is off topic. Does Sidney Crosby get traded in the offseason?
Unless he asks for it.
No, I know, but if he did, if you're Kyle Dubas going, okay, we'll do it. I don't think he's ever going to ask. That's not his style.
Well, I didn't think Brad Marchand would ever leave Boston either, but
yeah,
until it presents itself, right? Like, I don't know. Those are the conversations. Maybe that's something that you broach, like if Malcolm leaves the organization or something, because I feel like those two are like tied to the hip, right? Like if one goes, but if one stays, but I don't know. It's like Lemieux stayed in Pittsburgh, right, through those lean years. I know, like they had the bankruptcy stuff going on as well.
Team.
Yeah, but like like
I get you.
He kind of helped Sid when Sid was coming up, so maybe there's that opportunity. Maybe if they take it down further, take the rebuild down further, like Sid can do the same
for
thing
me,
for whoever comes through. But
it's like Ray.
I would have. I personally, if it was me, I would have traded Malkin a few years ago. I would have traded Malkin a few years ago when he was pretty good this year. But you had an opportunity. There was a window to do that deal. But I don't. Boy, it would be tough trading Crosby out of Pittsburgh. He's just such a legacy player. But like they say, Gretzky was traded. Man, you'd have to get a massive package in return for him. But it could set you up. It could set you up for years to come. But that's a thing where ownership and we go to him and have the conversation. But man, it seems though the best teams they make tough decisions. Like look at Tampa.
Mm-hmm.
Did anybody ever think Steven Stamkos would have left Tampa? And they make the deal. Tampa hasn't lost a step. They reloaded. It's just, but I don't think he will. We won't bring that up. I don't think he leaves, Graeme. I don't.
I was like really surprised that Dubas and Spezza wanted to go to Pittsburgh. Like I thought this was coming. I didn't think it would necessarily happen this season where like Pittsburgh would just go into the tank. But I just like you kind of have like those elderly statesman players on Pittsburgh who are just legacy guys, and like if you're actually going to go through a rebuild with those guys, like you're going to be associated with that. Like if you wind up moving those guys, like that's going to be your brand and recognition, like moving forward. So it's not the easiest situation to walk into.
But if you But I think some GMs are like, I can fix it. I'll turn it around. I can win. You give me Crosby, Malkin, Chris Letang, I'll fix this.
I heard Dubas is a hell of a talker in a meeting. Like he is pretty slick.
I've had conversations with him. I like him. I don't.
Yeah.
What kind of person he is outside of the rink, I don't know. But I do really like him. I think he's a good dude from everything I know. Anyway, I enjoy having conversations with him.
Yeah. Yeah. Is he salty like you?
No, he's not. He's very lovely.
Drops F-bombs out of the middle of nowhere.
13 games left in the. Oh, go ahead, Yorkie.
Did you just say Dubas is very lovely?
Yes, I did. Yes,
Who are you? What's going on?
I'm trying to atone for my salty.
He's a grandmother. Right
salty talk earlier.
Dubas is very lovely. He came over for tea the other day. We talked about the Penguins. It was a very nice day. Lovely boy.
Man.
Lovely boy.
Lovely day.
Lovely day. Jesus. How old are you? 70?
I age every time I do a show with you. So it's possible. I am.
Were you inviting me over for tea and crumpets later or something? Like,
no, I'm not inviting you over because you don't invite me anywhere.
That's not true. I invited you to the Cat and you didn't come because you had a chance and you blew it.
I was for the
Be
last
lovely.
time,
Be lovely, Yorkie. Invite him somewhere.
I was doing the show. I have to put a show together. Sometimes it doesn't appear that I've done any work. I know, but I do have to do a show.
It's been a lovely show today, Wally. It was just lovely. Oh God. Get this baby back on the rolls, will you? Come on.
Okay. Last time before I leave this show, Sens will skate, by the way, at 11:30 today. That's the dad's trip. They head to Buffalo tomorrow. They also have that big game coming up against Detroit.
What a dad's trip, eh? Buffalo and Detroit.
Although, if we're not thinking of this right, though,
no,
Buffalo wings at the bar, enjoying. Yep. Like I think these cities might actually be perfect for the dad's trip. Not a lot of travel, so they're not getting in. Like they're going to get in this afternoon. They're going to get in early to Detroit, and then back home. I think this is a good trip, actually.
Oh yeah, Big Walt will have all the dads out at the local establishment, having some buffalo wings, some beers, get the guys all lubed up for the game. No, I agree, Graeme. Great. We talked about this last week. You got Buffalo and Detroit. They're like dad cities. Big sports cities.
Big sports towns, yeah.
And Buffalo's Detroit's a different downtown now.
Way better. Yep.
Way better downtown. Way better.
Yeah. So the Illich family revamped the entire Fox town down there with all the major sports teams are down now, and it's not as dangerous. Like when I played in Detroit, they told us after a game, hey, if you get to a red light, and this is back in the early 90s, don't stop because you got a good chance of getting carjacked. So I think the carjacking is way down in Detroit these days now that they've spruced up the downtown. But before, man, it was dangerous.
So I think I've shared this story on the show before. We're in Buffalo. I think it's Cup final. So whatever, one of the years against Detroit. So this is before Little Caesars is been built. We go to dinner. Mendez is with us. There's like 8 of us. Dave, Joy, and I. We took a cab there, I think it was. Dave Joy's my camera guy. During dinner, twice, if not 3 times, they asked us to let us know when we wanted a cab. And I'm like, oh, that's very nice. They're very, very thoughtful. And then we get outside. At the time, Dave smoked, so we just went outside there while he was having a smoke after. And they're like, just let us know when you want a cab. And we're like, we can see the hotel. It's like 7 blocks. It's the GM building. Mendez, he jumps in a cab because he, that's the way he operates. We start to walk, and within crossing one street, people just like 7 people just all of a sudden are around us. And we're walking. Yeah. And they were like trying to direct us into like an alleyway, if you will. We were not thrilled about what was happening. So it ended up, we gave them our cash as we were allowed to continue on walking towards the hotel. I had my wife.
Robbed?
I remember being like, shakedown. They were very nice. They're like, hey, yeah, you want to walk that way? I just we can help you out. Like,
really?
Sounds like an episode of Narcos.
The scariest day I've ever had on the road was that day. I remember
you had to pay a toll.
Yeah, I had like Lisa was on the phone. I'm like, Lisa, I'm crossing this street. Like, if I go missing, this is the last street I was on. Yeah, the whole way. Yeah. Wow.
So it's just you and your cameraman walking back to the hotel, and you got surrounded by 7 guys.
Like, just out of nowhere.
How much money do you have on you?
Not much, because I didn't make that much. So I don't know.
I got $10. Take it.
Yeah, whatever. I don't remember what it was, but yeah. So I've never forgotten that. So Detroit, but it's a completely different city now. Totally.
A Motown shakedown. I never heard that story, Wally. Wow.
Yeah. So
did at any point in time did you think, you're not getting my hard-earned money? It's go time.
Yes. It was about 2.5. No, it was about 0.2 seconds. I thought that. Yeah. Anyway.
Oh God.
So that's
that's much. No, that's crazy. I used to walk to the rink, so because I used to get called up all the time, but the hotel wasn't
the
too
water.
far. But at night, they told us, don't stop at the red lights, just keep going.
I'm trying to remember the coach. I don't think it's Roger Nielsen, but I might be wrong.
For who?
Ottawa's had an assistant coach one time that went for a run. I think it's Roger. But anyway, as he's running, a cop pulls up next to him and says, "What are you doing?" And they're like, "I'm just out for a run." They're like, "Get in the car." And they drove him back. They're like, "Yeah, you can't run over here." So, yeah.
God.
Anyway.
Crazy.
Unreal. There's an older guy. He worked well before I was hired by Ottawa Fire, but there used to be a guy who played pro hockey in the minors, and similar kind of situation. Like he was getting shaken down, and he was just taking money out of an ATM, and there's like 4 guys surround him, and he just turns around, rolls up his sleeves, and says, "Boys, I work hard for my money. You're going to work hard for yours."
Wow.
He was a tough guy in the AHL, and the guys just around. Like, they're like, "This guy's insane." So that's one of them.
You should have rolled up the sleeves. You said, "I worked hard for this $10. Let's go."
More like roll up the rim. I'm not rolling up the sleeves. It would be the end of me. And then I would just can't be like that scene in Anchorman where they all start to have the brawl. Only one rule: no hit the face.
Just don't touch. No hitting in the face. That's a great scene.
All right, gentlemen, I've wasted enough of your time today. Let's reconvene tomorrow as we get you set for the Buffalo game. Take a look at the remaining schedule and see. We'll also delve into Dylan Cousins' game. We'll see you tomorrow. All right.
Sounds good. Take care, everybody.
Thanks for watching. Enjoy the sun.
Thanks for tuning in to Coming In Hot. If you enjoyed the show, hit that like button and be sure to subscribe to never miss an episode.